When you do you remember after you wrote the play for the university paper, do you remember what your first article that you wrote regarding hip hop was?
Yeah, absolutely. My first rap article I ever did was an album review of LOG and the Bulldogs' second album, Roxbury 02119. And I didn't
Classic.
know I didn't know anything about how any of this worked. So I just reviewed an album that I already had. It was out and it was just the newest thing that I had at the time. And crazily enough, I started doing some writing. And then over the summer, the first group I ever interviewed was the Fugees. They were
No.
they were opening up for Queen Latifah on tour, and they had come to Baltimore at a club that doesn't exist anymore, but I've read that they might be bringing it back, called Hammerjacks. And through the newspaper, somebody had connections at Columbia Records, so blah blah blah. I ended up getting to interview them before their show with Queen Latifah. So that was pretty amazing. The first group I ever interviewed is the Fugees.
Wow, man, that's incredible. So this must have been forgive me for forgetting the name of it. I have it. But this would be the project, I'm guessing, around the time they were working on the project that came out before the score.
Yeah, Blunted on Reality. It's their first album. Yep.
Wow. That's incredible, man. So you met wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. They weren't famous, and I was just going into my sophomore year of college. So it was wild. When I think about it now, it's pretty amazing.
That's incredible. At the time when you interviewed them, did you have did you have the foresight at all to think like these guys could be as big? Because they are at one time the biggest hip hop group of all time, were they not? Wasn't the score broke records, I believe? Did it not?
Yeah, it was huge.
Yeah.
I really liked them because of Vocab and the Nappy Head songs, especially the remixes. I like the album versions too. So I thought that they were very distinctive. I thought they could be popular. I wouldn't have thought they were going to sell 6 million copies or whatever they ended up selling. But I would have never thought that. But I definitely thought that they were very distinctive. And because they had the male female thing going on with Wyclef Pras and Lauryn Hill, I definitely thought that they had a chance to be successful, because that was not only unusual. We had seen like Digable Planets had a lot of success before them, going gold and stuff. So I knew that that type of thing could work. And I knew that because they had, Wyclef in particular was a musician, I knew that that adds another dimension, because being from Maryland and going to DC a lot of the time, I got to see a lot of go-go music. And when you get to see live performances, I got to see a lot of go-go artists perform live, but then I also got to see when rappers would tour with a band. I got to see Digable Planets perform with a band. I got to see Black Sheep perform with a band. So I could see there was a different element to it. I didn't, unfortunately, ever get to see Stetsasonic in their heyday, but I knew that it was possible for live music to be done in a very successful way, especially commercially. So I was intrigued with the Fugees, but no idea.
And so what year would this have been? Like 93, 94-ish?
It was 94.
94, okay.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, the last thing I wrote about in my school newspaper before summer break was Illmatic. And then that summer I got to interview the Fugees. So it was quite a run.
Oh my gosh. And that was for the university paper when you did the Fugees interview?
Yep, Xavier University.
Wow, that's incredible, man. That's incredible. Do you have any like memories of like was there anything, I don't know, it's just, I mean, I guess at the time it probably seemed pretty like, like kind of, I don't want to say regular, but not, you would, like you said, you couldn't have guessed that Lauryn Hill would go on to be like, hands down one of the greatest female rappers of all time, and the legacy that she'd leave and stuff. But like, are there any like pieces of like, your time with them when you interviewed them that like just resonates with you to this day?
Well, the thing that really stands out the most is that I knew Wyclef and Pras were Haitian, and just coincidentally, I think it was my mom, had seen in the Baltimore Sun, the Baltimore newspaper, that a Haitian official was going to be in Baltimore that night and was going to be on the radio. So I just cut out this little segment of the Baltimore Sun and I gave it to Praz. And I said, hey, I know you guys are Haitian. This guy's going to be on the radio tonight. I don't remember who it was or what they were talking about, but I just handed it to him and he looked at me just like stunned. That I think I cared that they were Haitian, but then on top of that, oh, wow, this kid actually is giving me something that represents my culture that probably most people don't know much about or care about. And I could tell that meant a lot to him, at least relatively speaking. It just made an impression on him, I should say. And because of that, I just, that's how I try to be, is connect with the artist. But I also understood, like, when you can really connect with the artist, it makes a big difference. So.
Wow, man, that is so cool. I can't believe your first interview was the Fugees. That is insane.
Yeah.
You got off right to it. You got off right off the ground running, eh?
Absolutely. I was very fortunate.
That's incredible. And speaking of the Fugees, did you happen, I'm sure you have, being the hip-hop head you are, but did you happen to hear the phenomenal verse you just did for Nas's King's Disease? I
did. King's Disease Part 2. It's as if she stepped out of 1998 and it just kept it going, man. She sounds great.
That's incredible. That verse was like, to me, I think that, I don't know, it's hard to say, but I just because of the meaning behind it and, how close, I hold Lauryn and how high I regard her, I say that's verse of the year so far for me.
Ooh. Yeah, it's a great one.
Breaking records here. Breaking records.
The bastard crowd. Hey yo, check it out.
Breaking records. Sitting here, breaking records here.
Hey yo, check it out.
Breaking records.
The bastard crowd. Hey yo, check it out.
Sitting here, breaking records here.
They break records, you heard me?